So, I've been feeling quite nostalgic lately, and I've been playing some video games. Today, I thought I'd share with you some of my favourites from when I was a kid, my childhood. So, first up, Wii Sports. Everybody loves this game because at the time it was groundbreaking. The Wii was amazing because the controls were wireless and they were motion triggered, which was a big deal back in 2007. Although, strictly speaking, I didn't get a Wii until 2008, but we'll go past that. And one really interesting thing about the Wii was it was actually pushed through development really quickly because Nintendo got rumour that Sony and Microsoft were trying to make a wireless PlayStation and Xbox, so they pushed the Wii through development stages because they wanted to be the first. And the Wii Sports is amazing because it was a social game, but it also was a physical game. And personally, I spent hours and hours on it. So thank goodness that Nintendo pushed it through, and it's amazing how amazing it is. Now, another much beloved game for me was Mario Kart, and in my opinion, the version for the Wii is the best they've created. Obviously, I'm totally biased because this is just a version that I'm really good at. But Mario Kart Wii does have some amazing tracks, Rainbow Road being my favourite. And whenever I play Mario Kart, I can always remember the perfect racing line to follow on each track and the years of research and development, trial and error that's gone into it. It's just, I remember it so well. And the motion control steering makes it incredibly immersive. And obviously the technology with like motion sensors is being carried over now. It's been carried over to the Switch, but no console has ever been more groundbreaking since the Wii, in my opinion. So, as you probably guessed, I'm a Nintendo fan. This is a throwback to one of their earlier consoles. This is the Game Boy Advanced. Now, just to give you some context, this came out in 2001, whereas I wasn't born until 2003, so obviously I never had one myself. But this is a console that belonged to my older brother, and I later learned how to play it. And here I'm playing The Simpsons Road Rage. Now, this is a really good game because it's minimalistic because of the limitations of technology at the time, but it still delivers true excitement because you have to frantically race around against the clock. And I really like this game because I'm a fan of The Simpsons, but also because it inspired and led on to what could possibly be my favourite game ever. But we'll get to that later. Now, moving slightly further forward in time, this is a DS, or technically it's a DSi. I got this for Christmas in 2010, and I played some great games on this. This is one of my favourites. This is New Super Mario Bros. And I love this game because there was just so much of it. There was nearly 100 levels to do. And it fed my curiosity because you had to look through each level so thoroughly, and sometimes you have to go through it again and again before you finally discovered all of its secrets. When I got this game originally, it took me ages to complete. When I was young, it took me about 6 months to get through this game, although I did start a fresh game of it last week, and I completed it all in 3 days. So I guess that means I've got better over time, but it's a really good game. Now, this next game is a real wild card, but it's special to me. You might think it's a bit rubbish, but it's one of my favourites. It's Mario and Sonic at the Vancouver Winter Olympic Games 2010, which probably needed a slightly catchier title to sell more, but it was really good. Now, this game was like a giant adventure, and it had a really powerful storyline, and the funny thing is, I didn't realise this for ages and ages, because on the surface, it just looked like a game that let you partake in Winter Olympic events. But then one day, I pressed the wrong button, and you ended up in this amazing adventure. Basically, what happened in the game is you had to look around and compete in events, and you'd win crystals that would let you advance further into the game. And I can't really put it into words, but for me, this game is incredible, and I just loved it. I loved the adventure, and it's just really nice. Now, finally, we move on to what could possibly be my favourite video game ever. This is The Simpsons Hit and Run, and it has everything you look for in a brilliant video game. It has adventure, a powerful storyline, mission after mission to complete. It was a later version of the Simpsons Road Rage, which I mentioned earlier, And I've always played it on PS2, which is kind of unusual for me because I prefer Nintendo, but the PS2 was really good. And I think it was available on Xbox and PC as well. Now, this game also felt really far ahead of its time because it was released at the tail end of 2003, and I never played it myself for ages and ages, but I used to love watching other people play it because it looked really exciting. And eventually, after a few years of growing up, I got to sample this game for myself, and it was 100 times better than it looked. If you've heard of GTA, it's kind of similar to that, but a much more humorous version. Kind of cliche, but it's just great. And the reason this game is so great as well is there's some great missions in it, but it's also like a sandbox game because you never run out of things to do. You can just muck around and just have loads of fun, and it is just mental and sensational. So, those are my favourite video games from when I was a kid. But what about you? Which video games did you used to play in your childhood? Please let me know, leave them down in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching, but before I say goodbye, I thought I should get a second opinion. So I decided to ask my good friend Gavin, who's really good at video games, for his opinion on my top picks. And here's what he said.
He chose some good nostalgic games to play, especially Wii Sports. This included tennis, golf, bowling, baseball, and boxing. And even though it was rushed, it had a variety of sports to play. Another game was Mario Kart Wii, which was a classic. Multiple maps like Delfino Square, Coconut Mall, and Rainbow Road had unique map design and was fun to race on. And Super Mario Bros. DS was amazing. 8 worlds filled with levels which were unique, and the Blue Shell power-up, which was also unique. On the main title sequence, you had the minigame section, which provided extra content if you ever got bored of the single-player experience. Wii Sports got upgraded to Wii Sports Resort, which included 10 new sports to play. Swordplay, wakeboarding, frisbee, archery, basketball, table tennis, power cruising, canoeing, cycling, and air sports were all new, with fan favourites returning, bowling and golf. This was a great addition, and with this, you can also unlock 2 additional game modes in each sports if you played enough. And yeah, this is my opinion.
Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Gavin. Goodbye.